Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all well on this very early Sunday morning. Started early this morning, and I've had it in my mind to do this particular project that I will show you in a minute, and sorry about that, and you know, maybe take you along with me. But I wanted to show you. I've just finished the you know, the cover and sort of basically covering it. So it's a folder really, and it's made from these. So these are old, you know, negative of it held your photographs. So it was a photograph sort of package that you would get when you developed film, and yeah, and I thought, well, why not? They might make really nice folders. So because they've got pockets and they hold the negatives, which is really nice. And you can fold them that way as well. So they're really versatile. I like this one because it's got a spine. So if I were to somehow you know, reinforce all of that, then I could make even a little notebook out of that and it has a pocket here. Just needs a little bit of fixing up, but yeah, the possibilities. So I haven't seen anybody do it. I haven't looked, but I haven't seen anybody do it. It was just an idea that I got from when I was going through my old stuff and I was looking for old envelopes and things like that. And I thought, you know, these would be great because they're just sitting there. I don't keep my photographs in them anymore. They do have negatives in, which I'm considering using in my journals as well. So what I did was I was looking for papers to cover, and needed to be sort of a fairly you know, a good size to cover them. So I've used old book pages, and I've used some pretty floral paper that I had that I bought sheets of. Not quite cardstock, it is sort of a thinner paper, and I've used an old map sheet there. So it's got, so this is the cover, and then you can open it up like that, and you've got a pocket in there, a pocket there, and then you can turn this and you can make a pocket here or use it as a tuck, and then turn that over there, and then you've got the back. So very versatile and definitely worth working on. Oh, I didn't check that you were in camera, but in frame, but you are. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you, you know, show you this idea. I think it's a nice one if you've got any old photograph packets, storage, I don't know what you call them. And I've got a few of these, not that many, but I'm sure you can get your hands on them if you Google or something, you know, if you look on Etsy or somewhere like that. I'm sure they'll be somebody will be selling them somewhere. So they are vintage, they're from the 1980s, and maybe some of them are from the 90s, but generally they're from the 80s. And yeah, so anyway, so what I've done is I've covered them in sort of this old paper from an old law book, and this would have been a grammar book, this one, Introduction to King's English, and there's the paper that I used, and then the map book page that I used. It's a bit fiddly getting this into here, you know, but all it took was just sort of like cutting it a little bit less wide here and here, so just sort of cutting it down to the size to fit it in, because it's obviously glued either side. And that's it. Very, very simple, very easy to do. And so now I've got to think about how I'm going to you know, cover this and make it look nice. But yeah, so what I could do on camera is do this one, and I haven't really got any idea about what I want to cover it in. But this one you can lay flat, and then maybe I could reinforce the spine with either fabric or quite thick paper or card even. Actually, what I'll do is I'll find some card to put in there to immediately reinforce that. And I have this old packaging here that looks about the right size, maybe a bit less, but this seems ideal. Can't think I would use this box for anything else. So I do try and, although it is shiny, and I do have less shiny look. This, mind you, it is quite sturdy, this. Yeah, I'll use this, and then I can always... It's just sometimes I avoid shiny card just because it's, you know, it can be difficult to cover, to glue into. So that was a bit rough, but that's okay. And then, now then, do I use this spine? Well, I'll cut it off and we'll see. It's very thick. It's because it's doubled over. So. Okay, so there's something I could use for the spine if I mean that would give it real stability. So I'm going to need to cut it down to size. It needs careful taking off it. I'll just cut that off, and what I'll do is I'll just trim it down a little bit. I don't want to use my cutter on this card because it's too thick. So let's see. Nope, still actually looking at it, it looks like this is the proper size, this doubled bit. So if I cut to there and cut this off, because you do need to leave a little bit of a gap, don't you? You know, when you don't want it to, you want the pages to bend in, so you don't want it to yeah, I'll cut a little bit more off. I didn't cut it very straight there. It's not letting me cut very well. Okay, cut a little bit more off here. If I can get my scissors, I might be better off using my knife. Well, let's have a look, see if that works. So it does work. So yeah, so I'm going to put that in to give it, it's a really thick piece of card, so it will give it a really good, just hope it glues in. So I'll use this glue. And then hopefully, it might take a bit of a while to glue to stick, but should be okay. There you go. Actually, this glue dries really fast. It's the acetate glue that I wish I'd bought years ago and didn't. So I'll just get rid of this packaging, and let's see. So I'll just cut that bit off there. And then that gives it a really nice solid spine, which is what I'm after. And then I can cover that up with something. So while that's drying, what I can be doing is covering the back. And so the back folds over to here. So I could go for one piece of paper. Well, that's not wide enough. Could do it that way. I'm not sure if I want No, I'd rather, if I was going to do it, I would rather do it separately. So if I did sort of that, or for instance that, to there, then I could use that piece at the back and then have a piece of fabric or something covering the spine. I think I'd rather do that. Or I could use this matte book, matte page rather. Oops. Upside down. I might use this because it's thinner, and I didn't want it too thick because I will embellish the front, so I think I will use this. So let's have a look. So if I put it there, it doesn't matter if I go over the edge because I can cut it off, and then I will go over. I don't want any of the orange showing, so right, I think that'll do. Might have been better off tearing that than, cutting it, but that fits perfectly, so I'm happy with that. So I'll glue this on. Now then, I wasn't going to go all the way over, was I? Should I? It won't harm, but no, I think I'll cut it off. So I'll just put the glue, if I put the glue on here, this glue is cheap glue, and you do need to put a lot on, but at least it doesn't smudge. It's got a nice, you do need a lot though. There we go. Right, have a look. Lovely. I like that. Do love these old maps. This is a vintage map from, we've had it for years, obviously. It's new when we bought it. Yeah, I can't decide about whether to do that or not. Make sure that, can't find my bone folders. I don't know what I've done with them. I've lost both of them. I keep losing things in here and I'm not sure where they hide, but I think that's stuck down okay. Okay, so I will just take it to the edge here and then figure out the rest. It doesn't matter if it rips too much into it because I am going to put some fabric on the spine, I think, or a different type, maybe some washi tape or something like that, but I will be covering the spine and it will come over, so I'm not too worried about that. I'll just get that up there. I don't know why I'm bothering to do this, to be honest. Not necessary, but anyway. Right, so now I'll cover the bag. I think this is too small, and it is, so I will use this piece. And I'm going to use that piece because I like to see the blue. So, alright, same again, cover. There's a rip. Oh, that's a good point. I could go over the edge, couldn't I, with this? If I go like that, then okay, not to worry. I'm going to take it off the edge, over to the other side, because I think it will look nice and continuous. Trying to get as much glue as I can on without yeah, so I'll take it to the edge here, pull it down a little bit, there we go, lovely. Hopefully you can see, and then as I said, I'm going to take it over to there, and I think that just makes perfect sense to continue it on. I can tuck that in as well. Great, love it. I could even use that piece as cover the spine. Alright, so glue there. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I mean, it really is simple. The other one was a little bit more complex because of the folds, but this one's fairly simple, straightforward. So as I say, it's definitely worth giving it a try and having fun with recycling your old bits and bobs. Right, now this can tuck in, but I'll probably need to cut a little bit off there. Don't want to cut too much off. I did, you know, I made the mistake earlier of doing that, so a bit there and there. See if I bend it this way, it helps it, I think. I mean, I don't have to tuck it in, but it just, I think it will, yeah, there we go. That tucks in nicely. And then I'll cut this off. Make sure I don't cut into the lovely. So that was fairly easy and straightforward. Nice little vintage map pages. Oh, and then the bottom. I need to chop the bottom a little bit just to trim it. That bit sticks out a little, just a tiny bit. These glue scissors are getting, I think it even took a tiny bit off. That's good, lovely. So now I want to think about what I'm going to put here to complement this. Fabric maybe. So let me just grab my pouch of fabric. If there's anything in here. Don't think it needs to be anything fancy. I'm thinking more about something like that, but that's not wide enough. But something like that, I can find some. I do have a lot of cotton. And yeah, this is better because this is a thinner fabric and it will be easier to fold over. I don't mind the orange. It's not very exciting though, is it? I don't mind the orange showing through actually either. I mean, it's just a functional little, you know, storage solution, or it doesn't have to be anything fancy. So I think I'll use this. So I'll just make it as straight as I can, and then didn't cut that very straight, doesn't matter. Alright, so let's have a look. So we'll put it something like that. Okay, so I'm going to use this glue, and if it doesn't stick it, then I will try something else. Actually, yeah, no, I will use it, but I'll make sure I put plenty on. I just don't like, wow, I put a lot of glue on there, I don't know what I'm thinking. Don't need to go that wide. I want to get this fringy bit out. There we go. Hopefully that won't discolour. Good. So lots of recycling going on here. And that looks nice. I'm happy with that. Just hopefully it will stick. And I'll just shall I bring that in? I think I will bring that in actually. Put plenty of glue on there. And bring that over like that. Like that, because obviously I'm going to be covering on the inside here. Making it grubby. Right, so yeah, so that's that done. Happy with that. Sweet little card. Okay, and then, so I want something to do here. Maybe this is where I use this card. Let me just put this away. I mean card, I mean paper, because it's very bright though. I just can't make up my mind with this. I think it's a bit too bright. I do want something pretty though. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Not big enough. Okay. Let me have a think. So I've got some of that paper left. That could go in. Maybe I have got some of that left. It goes really nicely with the map, that's why I like it. And then I would take to there, so about there. Make sure that's straight. That doesn't look straight. Okay, well it's wide enough anyway, it doesn't matter too much. So I will just tear this down. glue that into there. Actually, I'll put the glue on, and then I can cut off what I don't use. Yeah, these were £1 from Asda, which is, for those not in the UK, it's a supermarket, and it's relatively cheap. Nothing is cheap these days, but it's relatively cheap as opposed to something like Sainsbury's or Tesco, which is a little bit more expensive. They never used, well, Tesco never used to be quite that expensive. It's definitely become more expensive. Right, I'm going to take it to there first. I don't know. There. I need to do this like this just to make sure I get it to the edge. I think I could do better than that. No, it is to the edge. That's okay then. Yeah, that's okay. Happy with that. Right, so I'm just gonna, I can't find my bone folder, but I'm using this. I have no idea what this is, but it helps. Anybody know what this is? Oh, it looks like a letter opener, but it's very thick. Anyway, it's pretty. I would have bought it because it was wood and pretty some time ago. Right, so that's that bit, and then I'll do that side. I haven't put glue on this bit here yet. So now, before I do that, I'm going to cut so it will fit in here. So I need to cut it to there. And I fold that over. Yeah, that'll do. Actually, I'm going to take this off, getting in my way. I didn't take that very straight, but it's okay, I'll sort that out. I'm going to go a little bit further in. Let's see if it will. There we are. Fits in nicely. So I'll glue that down. Can't get it out. Right. And I will try and go a little bit in there as well. And then if I've pulled that a little bit, I can just glue it so that fits in there perfectly. Happy with that and happy with the look of it. So I'll just bend it over a little bit. Sorry. And there we have a little booklet with a pocket. And I love the vintage colours, so nice. Right, let me just tidy it up a little bit because there were bits sticking out. So this just wants to be cut better. Good, happy with that. Not sure what that is. There we go. Good. And then, so that's all trimmed nicely. And then what I will do next is I'll just make sure this is glued so it's not going to come loose. So I'll just use some of this glue because it'll put pressure on it. That's the pressure point. But I mean, it's not like, you know, we don't treat these things roughly. I think that side is, oh, I will put a little bit on that side as well. I don't know if you can see, it's just, you can see the orange of the card showing through, which I'm not too worried about that. It's more that it might come up. Good. So I think we've done the second one and I'm happy with that as well. It's lovely. Got a nice little, excuse me. And mind you, I've just had a thought. It's going to take a bit of a needle to go through that because it is quite thick card. So, but I'm happy with that. And yeah, next time I will show you, I will do some, that needs a bit more glue on there, but I'll do that off camera. So I'm really happy with these two. I mean, who knew? So thank you very much for watching, and you know, I hope you're all well and have a lovely Sunday. Oh, that's stuck to the table. Yep, this is the problem with gluing on your table and not on that. So I will sort this out and I will leave you to have a lovely sunny Sunday. Take care and bye for now.